Right. This is kind of a different story. This is out of China. China is now launching high-tech bird drones to watch over its citizens. Um, they look kind of like doves, and they're pretty much ornithopters. Anybody that don't know what an ornithopter is, it's a flying machine that flaps wings kind of like a bird. So, yeah, these are small hand. I mean, the picture they have on this at CNET, its source was the South China Morning Post. Was looks like a dove, has like the wings, and it's got like and it's like you can hold it in your hand, and you know, so it's not very big, but so these little birds can fly through the sky and they can spy on people. Now, how long they'll stay up in the air, they'll and how what the distance is, their radio signals and stuff. There's not a lot on here, but they say the bird-like drones mimic the flapping wheels of real birds using a pair of crank rockers driven by electric motors. They're ornithopters, okay? They're ornithopters is what they are. So whole idea is they're using this to spy on their citizens, and actually, this is kind of clever. Um, Kind of clever drone idea use, and it can be kind of scary too because the stuff that someone gets this type, they can do some like really crazy shit, crazy stuff. Each drone has a high definition camera, GPS, antenna, flight control system, and data link with satellite communication capability, according to the South China Morning Post. Now, how effective they are, what their range is, you know, there's a lot of stuff to be desired about, how if but still, this is really just creepy 1984-ish, despicable. Yeah, honestly, I've never read 1984. I think it's one of those books you hear so much. It's like, do I really want to read it because I've already heard so much about it? But so and then the program is probably codenamed Dove and run by Song by Bifeng, a professor at the Northwestern Polytechnic Institute in Xi'an, XI apostrophe AN. Song was a former senior scientist on the Chengdu J-20 Asia's first fifth generation stealth fighter jet, according to the Post. I've seen pictures of it. Yeah, okay. It kind of looks like, hey, we're just going to copy the basic shape looking of America stuff and say it's stealth. Yeah, okay. I'm going to say this okay one day, and they're actually going to pull something cool, something genius off. Um, so, um, so while it's still small, they believe technology has good intentions, good potential for a large-scale use in the future, and has some unique advantages to meeting the demands of drones in the military and civilian sectors. And so the idea is going to be discreet can be avoided, but these drones will open up a new level of truthism, as Timothy R. Heath, senior international defense researcher, said the global policy think tank, the RAND Corporation, that he told CNET through an email. I'm getting this from CNET.com, by the way. I always like to give my sources, hey, give them credit. This is where I get it from. It's just the right thing to do. They say, he said, according to the email, he said they're probably going to be deployed to resist provinces like Xinjiang, and any Chinese person should assume their behavior could be under surveillance and their behavior recorded no matter where they go outdoors. China's use of bird drones will extend the government surveillance to a frightening new level. Yeah, what really gets me is the Chinese government, they're a bunch of a holes. Um, they're pretty much they're an authoritarian regime. And what I can't stand about authoritarian regimes is like they will pound people into payment for stuff that in most other countries really wouldn't be a problem. The guy's bitching. Yeah, well, the guy bitches all the time. You don't do anything about it. Why are you worried about it? And so that's just whatever. And also, it's like there's more important things they could really be worried about, in my opinion. But also, what I don't like is that our government can start using it. What if, like, not our government, but what if criminals have, like, hey, we can do this? Or, what if, I mean, I could just think of another number of things, and I don't want to give people ideas, but, you know, just think of I mean, you could do some cool things with it. Like, you could use them to fly around to, like you could put like infrared cameras and have them fly around places looking for like let's say it's out in the wintertime, you have a kid gets lost out in the snow in the woods somewhere, you could put several of these birds out, they could fly around with infrared cameras looking for the kid. That would be cool. I mean, there's some good stuff that can come of this. I mean, I'm not saying there can't be, but there's a lot of evil that can be done with this too. um but it could be used like it could be used to send like, I mean, you could use these kind of like the old pigeons of old, where they used to use pigeons back and forth on the battlefield to send messages. That would be a cool place. You could send a message, the bird flies off, sends the message, comes back, and you can do some really cool stuff with this. But what I don't like is the spy thing on this. This could be used by criminals to spy on you. It could be used by, someone could take this idea of technology and you could have someone spy on you for whatever reason. And what if you're getting divorced and your ex is using to spy on you to prove that you're doing something wrong when maybe you're not? Or what if some ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, her completely psycho gets, I mean, I could think of like all sorts of bad things that could happen here. I could think of some good things too. Um, you could be use it to, like, if there's a natural disaster, these things could fly in. They're smaller than the big drones. They could fly in and go through, and they can get more accurate data pictures of what's going on. I mean, you can do some wonderful things with this with the right equipment and the right thought processes. You can do some really wonderful things with this. But what I don't like about this is being used for really god awful things. Government spying on its people. Government there to sit there and stick the screws to the people. So yeah, this is kind of one of those double-edged sword technologies where I can see really good and bad from it. The only problem is, the only thing I'm seeing being done with it is bad, like really bad. So I just, anytime China does something like that, I mean, they do happen lately to be doing some innovative stuff. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of innovative, that's kind of cool, but also they have grave concern with people's personal freedoms and their liberties. And this is stuff that also there is some military use for this. There's civilian use. There's like good and bad. So this is something I think might be something to look out for in the future. And I wouldn't be surprised if criminals are going to use this as an idea to do some sort of criminal activity. And I mean, I can tell you some other stuff that I'm thinking about, but I really don't want to repeat it here and give evil people ideas. And that's about it.